Welcome to Legislative Support Services Advanced Legislative Website Use class. My name is Laura Monroe, and I'm the manager of the Legislative Information Center. If you're not familiar with the basic functions of the website, such as finding legislator or committee information or looking up bills by number, please watch the Navigating the Legislative Website video first. We're going to jump right into Advanced Reports by using the drop-down arrow next to Bills, Meetings, and Session, and then clicking where it says Bills. From here, we're going to scroll down to Advanced Ways to Search for Bills and jump right into Detailed Legislative Reports. We will go over the search function and bill tracking after the rest of the detailed legislative reports. If you're only looking for how to use bill tracking or the search function, we have standalone tutorial videos for both of those, so you don't have to sit through this whole class. You can find those classes by going to the site contents, clicking Help, and navigating to Classes and Tutorials. Under Bill Information, Bill Summary or History of a Bill is where you can search by bill or initiative number. You want to make sure that you choose the biennium you're looking in and then click Search. And that will bring you to the Bill Information page. Text of a legislative document will allow you to look up bills and documents named like. You can put in 1000 and hit Find Documents, and it will bring up documents with that number. You can also look up RCWs or WACs by putting in the RCW or WAC code here and hitting Find Statute. We're going to skip bills by sponsor since we learned how to do that in the first Navigating the Legislative Website class and move on to roll calls on a bill. It's going to put you in the current biennium, so if you're looking for a different biennia, you'll want to use the drop-down menu and choose that, and then click into bill or initiative number, put in the 4-digit number, and click Continue. This will bring you to all the roll calls on a bill. You can see the bill number. You can also see what the roll call is on. This is the third reading and final passage in the House. As you scroll down, you can also see the third reading and final passage in the Senate. This will show you who voted yay, who voted nay, who was absent, and who was excused on that roll call. Bills in and out of committee. You can choose the House or the Senate. Use the drop-down menu to pick the committee you're looking for, and then you can select the report type you're looking for. Bills in the committee, bills out of the committee, bills in and out of the committee, bills that were removed, or all bills. Again, you'll want to make sure you're in the biennia that you're looking for, and then click Continue. And then you can see all the bills in and out of the committee that you chose. Anytime you're looking at a page like this, it is going to automatically show you 25 entries. You can choose 50, 100, 300, or all to see all of the results on one page. Bills by citation is a way to see bills that are going to impact an RCW. So if you put in an RCW citation, choose the biennia that you're looking for, and click Continue, you will get a list of all the bills that will impact that RCW. We went over a topical index search in the first video, and we're going to go over searching documents and selected bill tracking later. So we're going to skip down to the floor activity report, which will take you to the chamber display board. And if there are working calendars, which will be available in session, but are not now because we're not in session, you can use these drop-down menus to check out the different calendars. And you can do the House and you can do the Senate, and both of them will show you both of the chamber display boards. Selected step reports. So this website is full of information about the bills, where they are, where they came from, where they've passed, and this is a way for you to get those reports. You choose the biennia that you're looking for, Let the system know whether you're looking for House bills, Senate bills, or all bills, and then choose what you're looking for. So you could look for House bills introduced in the House. You could look for House bills introduced in the Senate. You could look for all bills that are currently in dispute. Whatever you're looking for, you click the buttons and then you hit continue. And then you get the report that you asked. You got all of the bills introduced in the House for the 2023-24 biennium. The Legislative Action Report will tell you what happened on a specific day. So we are going to choose the first day of session in 2023 and choose both chambers. And then we can see what happened on January 9th, 2023. As we scroll down, it'll tell the resolution or bill number. It'll tell what it was. Temporary rules were introduced and adopted in the House. And again, you can choose to see 25 entries at a time, or you can see 50, 100, 300, or all of them. Next, we have statistical reports. You choose the biennium you're looking for, House, Senate, or both, and click continue. And then what you get is the statistical report of all the bills in the 2023-24 biennium, how many the House introduced, how many the Senate introduced, down to how many the House passed in the House, how many the House bills passed in the Senate, and vice versa. Next up is our paper hanging reports. It's going to automatically put you into the current biennium. From there, you can choose the House bills or Senate bills and the place and process you want to see them. Show us the Senate bills on the House second reading. From there, you will hit continue. We're not going to do that today because it's not going to show us anything because we are recording this before the 25-26 session. If we were in session, though, you would get all of the Senate bills that were on the House second reading. Then we have the Leader Offline Reports. This displays the bills that have passed the Chamber of Origin on any given day. So you choose your biennia, and then the dates will auto-populate for you. You choose the date you're looking for, click continue, and you can see all of those bills. You can also print from here if you do print version. And then we're going to go back to the reports home, and we are going to jump into one of my favorite tools on the website, the legislative search function. In detailed legislative reports, you can get to it by hitting search documents here. We are going to show from the home page how to get to the legislative search function. You will use the drop-down arrow next to bills, meetings, and session, and then click on bills. Once you're on the bills page, you can scroll down back to those advanced ways to search for bills and hit document search. This is a fantastic search tool if you know how to use it, and it can be kind of confusing if you don't. What you can't do is just type in a question. This will not get you anything. If you type in a question and you search, it'll tell you it doesn't even have all the information to know what to look for. So first, we're going to erase our question because we're not asking a question. We're looking for keywords and we are searching documents based on those keywords. So the first thing we're going to want to do is tell it what documents we're looking for. If you're looking for bills, there's a whole list here, all bills and resolutions. You can just look for amendments, just look for bills or bill reports. Once you choose what you're looking for, you can also choose RCWs, RCW dispositions, legislative ethics, the Constitution, and WACs. As you can see up here, you can search for many things at once. You can also search for these legislative documents in addition to other documents. So you can search them all at once. Right now, we're just going to look at our search criteria. So you can't put in questions, but you do put in keywords in this little search term box. And we have a little cheat code, this little I information here. If you pop it up, it'll tell you how to search. And we are going to walk through that today. So say you are looking for bills that say land or water. You're going to tell it what documents, and then you are going to type in water and land. And when you hit search, this will bring you to the bills that have both the words water and land. And it brings you to the current biennium. You can also choose different biennia. You can search multiple biennia. So this is water and land. If you wanted bills that said water or land, all you would need to do is type in the or and hit search. You can see we just went from about 500 responses to about 1,400 responses. Maybe you are looking for bills that say water, but you don't want it to say land. In that case, you'll put in the criteria that you do want, water, and you'll put in a minus and then put in the word you don't want. So we want it to show us bills that have the word water, but that don't have the word land. So now when we hit search, we can see that went back down to about 456 bills that have water, the word water in the bill, but do not have the word land in the bill. We also have, when we go into these search terms, we have wildcards, and that is going to be a character that fills in. So in this case, we are going to, you just copy and paste their example. So F question mark, REM question mark N. When we hit search, it's going to give us one bill. And it could be fireman, it could be fireman, it could be foreman, foremen, any word that can be made by filling in those question marks with a character. Let's see what this bill is about. Once you're in your results, if you come up here and you click next term, it will take you to where that term is. And this one is foreman. If you continue to click next term, it will tell you there are no more search hits. So we had one place in this bill that the word showed up. You can go back to the list from here. And that is the single wild character. There's also a way to fill in more than one character. So if you are looking for multiple characters, you can use the asterisk. So when we put in LEGIS, we can get legislate, legislative, legislator, legislature. Any word that starts with LEGIS will be filled in with this little asterisk. So when we hit search, we can see there are a lot of bills, over 6,500, that have a word that starts out LEGIS. In that case, you may want to add other words to help narrow down your search parameters. That's a lot of bills to have to look through. Let's try budget with the asterisk. You can see there are 915 budget bills. Maybe we want to know budget bills that say land as well. So when we hit search, you can see that knocks down our criteria, makes less search results. So the more you can tell it what words you're looking for, the more succinct those results are going to be. You can also tell the system to search in specific parts of a bill. So I'm going to erase this in search term, and we're going to head over to zones. So maybe you want to see bills that have an effective date of July 1st, 2024. You can put in the date and then scroll down and hit effective date. Now when you hit search, it'll show you bills that have an effective date of July 1st, 2024. If you want to be more specific in your results, you can specifically tell it to give us session laws. So those are the bills that have passed the legislature and governor's action. Tell us what session laws have an effective date of July 1st, 2024. And that gets us down to 41 bills. You can also look in the captions, citations, dissection, the history, notes, sponsors, text, the SLPL, which is the session law chapter law. And last but not least, we have preferences. So one of the things that we can do is search for the proximity around words. So we're going to tell it that we want to see water and land bills. And when we go over to these preferences, it is going to show us water and land within 5 words of each other. We can change that though to 10 or 30. Show us water and land bills, but only where the word water is within 10 words of the word land. Once we have our proximity in there, we go back to our search terms and hit search. And we have 16 bills that have water and land within 10 words of each other. Let's change that to 5 and see if we get a different result. We do. Only 12 of those 16 bills have water and land within 5 words of each other. So that is your zones where you can look in the different sections of a bill, and preferences where you can tell it how close you want the words to be to each other. Last but not least, you can look up exact phrases. So this is really helpful if you know a bill says certain exact words. You may know that emergency bills have the term takes effect immediately. So if you put takes effect immediately in quotations, and you tell it, give us the session laws, and you hit search, it will take you to the 61 session laws that have the emergency clause language takes effect immediately in it. If you click into these and you hit next term, you can see it has the language takes effect immediately. From here, you can go to the next term, previous term, back to list, or if there's more than one result in the results bar, you can skip to the next document or the previous document. This is not just for emergency clause bills, it is for any exact language you are looking for. So provisos often have the language is not enacted by. If you click search, you can see the 8 bills that had the is not enacted by language in them. This is also very handy if you're looking for a bill that was introduced in a previous biennia and you know that bill is introduced in the same language in a new biennia. You can pull out a sentence of that bill, put it in quotes, and search for it. And if the language of that bill was reintroduced with a new bill number in the current biennia, it will show up here. Again, unlike internet search functions, you have to be very specific. You can't ask it questions. How many bills are about kids' lunches? However, you could put in kid and lunch and see where it gets you. Sometimes the words that we think of as being appropriate to a situation are not the same words that the law uses to talk about that. So if you put something in like kid lunch and nothing comes up, you might try different language. How about student meals? There you go. So while we didn't get any search results for kids lunch, student meal gave us 13. So if you're looking for something and the language just isn't giving you what you want, you can try different language, or if you're really confused, you can always call the Legislative Information Center and we can help sort of clarify some of those search terms. We can't help you understand what the bill or law means, but we're usually pretty good at finding it for you. And that is the legislative search function. Next up, we're going to go to bill tracking. So from the main page for bill tracking, you're going to click the drop down arrow next to bills, meetings, and session. And you're going to click into that bills page. Then we're going to scroll down. Under track bills, we're going to go to selected bill tracking. From this page, you can sign in if you have a WSL account, or if you have a bill tracking account, you can put in your email and password. If you don't yet have an account, you'll want to click sign up now and follow the instructions for how to create your account. So when you are looking at the bill tracking account, you'll see here it says 2024. You will not have that in a new account. That is a folder. So you will have the option that will say new, and you'll want to create your folder. Once you have the folder name, you click save. And then once you have a folder, you will be able to put lists in your folder. And again, you can hit new list, and you will need to give the list a name. You can give a description to the list as well. From there, you have two options. You can save and add bills, or you can save and close. We will save and close today. Now we have a new folder and a new list. When you click into the new list, there are not going to be any bills here. So you are going to want to add your bills. If we had clicked save and add bills, this is the screen that would have popped up for us. So we're going to add the bills by bill number. And you just want to put in the 4 digits of the bill. You don't want to put in the HB or the SB. You separate it with a comma. And once you have all the bills in there that you want, you click save. And now you can see those bills are showing up in our new list. How we're looking at it right now with the bill number, document flags, title, status, veto, date, and original sponsor is the usual, regular, normal selected bill tracking view. You have some options. Even within this standard view, you can come over to add remove columns. If there's something that you don't want to see, you can uncheck that box. And you'll watch as we uncheck the box that the column disappears. You can put it back in. And once you have everything that you want in or out, you have your view, which is the standard view that you have edited slightly. You can also make completely custom views. If you come up to reports, it says, look, we're looking at it in the standard view. Use the little drop down arrow and click custom view. I have some custom views from trainings before. If you have a custom view that you no longer want, you can delete it. You can add a view. So right now we have all the things that are available to us to put in a view on the left in available columns. And then we have our chosen columns on the right. So we're going to say we want the bill number. So we're going to click the little plus sign and watch as our chosen column gets put in there. Next, we're going to choose, let's see, we want the date. How about the latest committee meeting information? The original sponsor, and notes is something you can also add. We also have a create a custom column. So you can put your own column in there. How about, do we like this bill? Once you hit save, it will show up in the available columns, and you can find it and click in there. Do we like this bill? You see a little paper and pencil in blue over here, which lets you know that is a custom column that we created, not one that automatically comes with the system. From here, we have to give it a name. Once we give it the name, we hit save, and then back to report. And now we can see when we're looking at the reports view, it says Advanced Web Training View. And when we come down and we look at this, it has our chosen columns in it instead of the standard view. And in these custom columns, you can write whatever you want here. One thing to note is that when you write in your custom column, you have a limited number of spaces. So you can't write big old huge notes here. It's going to be a real short note. However, in these notes that come with the system, you can write a lot of characters here. And it's important to note when you do that, it will bust your bill tracking list real big. So if you have a bunch of notes on all of your bills, that's the time if you're looking for something quickly, you may want to use this add remove column to look at the view in a shorter look and then add the notes back and it'll put it back out to your big list. That is custom views. I'm going to click selected bill tracking home. And that is going to bring me back to this main menu. You can delete folders from here. And it's going to ask you, do you really want to delete it? Because if you delete a folder, it's going to delete all of your lists and all of the bills and notes and everything in there. So if you do not want to delete that, click no. If you click yes, those are deleted. There is not a way to get them back. So be very careful when you click delete that you do actually want to delete things. And erase this note because it's very long. From here, we can share the list. You can send a copy of this list to another bill tracking user. You can share the list or share your bill tracking account access. So sharing a list or sending a copy of a list to another user just gives them a screenshot copy of what we're looking at right now. Sharing the bill tracking account means that somebody else can come into your account. They can erase your notes. They can add their notes. They can delete bills, add bills, move bills. So make sure that when you're sharing your account, everybody knows how to use bill tracking so you don't get in a situation where somebody erased things that were important for you to know. If you select a bill by clicking this little box, you can delete it. And again, it asks you, are you sure you want to delete it? Yes or no? If you click yes, it will delete the bill. If you have multiple lists, you can move bills. You can also copy bills. And you just choose where you're going to copy it to. And you can also add bills. You may find throughout the legislative session more bills are introduced that you want to track. So you just come in here, put their bill number in and click save, and it'll add it to that list. One of the helpful tools within bill tracking is date options, where you can choose to bold bills or only list bills that have had a status change since a certain date. So if we say we want to see all the bills that have had a change since December 2nd and update, it's going to bold all of these bills because all of these bills were pre-filed on the 2nd. We can also export our lists to Excel, CSV, text, or Word, or the bill status spreadsheet. And we can also print. When you are signed into bill tracking, you'll notice that we have the options from the detailed legislative reports up here. So I'm going to click into Report Home, and we're going to go to Bills by Sponsor. Let's look up 2025-26. We're going to choose Representative of Barno. So we chose the House, we chose the Representative, and we have an option to look up primary, secondary, or all bills. We're going to choose primary bills and hit Find Bills by Sponsor. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is because you can click this top box when you get your Bills by Sponsor. So you have all of the sponsor you were looking for bills, and you come down here and you can add it to a bill tracking list from this search function. So if we hit the Combine button, it's going to take us to our bill tracking, and it's going to say, do you want to put this into your existing list or do you want to create a new list? You can do either one. Name the new list, click Save, And now you have a list that has all of the prime sponsor bills. And again, it's going to show us in the view that we chose. You can go back to a standard view from up here. And you could do this as many times as you need to. You could have a different list for every legislator if you wanted. You can look up bills in and out of committee. You can look up a lot of different ways. Anytime you get the results in this format, you can scroll down to the bottom and add them to your bill tracking. And that is our fabulous bill tracking feature. If you aren't sure how to do something in the bill tracking system, the most important thing to know is to contact the Legislative Information Center, and we will walk you through how to do this. Next up, we are going to go to state laws and rules. From the main page, we're going to use the state laws and rules drop-down arrow. We can get to the Washington State Constitution, and we can get to our state laws, or RCWs. When we're in that page, if you know the citation number that you're looking for, you can type it in and click Search RCW, and it will take you to that chapter of the RCW. You can also use this All Current State Laws, RCWs, to get to the list of Revised Codes of Washington, RCWs by title. From here, you can scroll down and look at all of the different titles. And again, if you know a full or a partial citation, you can type that in here as well to go directly to the RCW chapter that you're looking for. This is another link to the current RCWs. We also have the RCW archives. So if you are looking for how an RCW looked in 2005, you can come here to RCW archive. You can scroll down to the year you're looking for. In this case, I said 2005. So we're going to click the 2005 RCW archive. And this is going to take us to links to get to the RCWs as they were in 2005. We also have the general indexes from 2006 to 2024, as well as the selected titles. And again, this is titles as they existed when they were published that year. It goes back to 2012. We have the sections affected, and it is split up by year. So you use these little drop-down menus to look for the bill that you're looking for. Codification tables, and these help track changes to state laws and codes. And again, they are split up by year. You use the arrow to make that menu come out, and then you can choose the year you're looking for. We have session laws. So this is going to get you year by year, the list of session laws. Those are the laws that were passed during the legislative session. Help with state laws. So if you're having trouble understanding or trouble how to look for state laws, you can get help with that here. And we have the RCW list of titles for a list of the most recently published titles within the RCW, and the RCW list of titles and chapters, which gives you the most recently published titles and chapters within the RCW. And those are our Revised Codes of Washington, or RCWs. Next, we're going to go to our WACs, or Washington Administrative Codes, by using the drop-down arrow next to State Laws and Rules and clicking where it says State Rules WAC. Much like you could on the RCW page, if you know your WAC citation, you can type it in here. And when you hit Search WAC, it'll take you to that WAC. You can also choose to look at all current state rules and WACs. This is a helpful section if you have a WAC and you know the first digits of it. This will tell you what agency, board, college, department that WAC is attached to. So say, I think I looked up a 246 WAC. If you're scrolling down and you have questions about a 246 WAC, you can see the best place to ask about that may be the Department of Health, because Title 246 is a Department of Health code. We also have past versions of state rules. Just like the RCW archive, this is going to give you those codes, those administrative codes in the year that they were current. So again, we can go to 2005 and we can look at what those administrative codes look like in 2005. Last but not least, we have the Washington State Register. So this is an official publication for rulemaking activities by state agencies in Washington. It includes notices of proposed and final rules, public meetings, and other legal information. If you know the WSR document you're looking for, you can put it in here by code and click search. We have the agency WAC title list. The index, if you know the subject matter. The register issues. And if you click into these, it takes you to the issue. Specific types of filings: emergency, expedited, miscellaneous, permanent, pre-proposal, or proposed. And you can see we have other years down here as well. So this is top part is going to assume you're in the current year, and then we're going to offer you those previous years down there. And then we have the WAC WSR table. And those are the Washington State Register options. We are going to jump outside of the legislative website for just a minute to show you tvw.org. And the reason why we're showing you this is because you can find archived legislative videos on the TVW website. In the upper left-hand corner, you'll click these 3 lines and then scroll down to Media Archives. From here, you get a video search. So you can use the quick select if you're looking for something, last month, next week. In this case, though, I'm going to show you how we are going to go back to the first week of session 2024. And we are going to, by choosing the dates, January 2024, we're going to look at what happened in the first week of session by hitting submit. And then we can see the legislative review, Senate pro forma sessions from the 12th of January, Senate housing, House agriculture. So all those meetings that took place and were recorded in that first week of session are going to be available on this TVW site. Very handy search tool. And then last but not least, on the legislative website, if you remember nothing else from this training, remember that the Legislative Information Center is here to help you. We're here to help guide you through the website and find you what you need. And you can contact us by phone or email, and we look forward to hearing from you.